All right. And a good morning. A good morning, May the 22nd, 2025, family. How we doing out there today? We hope y'all are having a powerful and impactful Thursday morning, right? As we get closer to Memorial Day weekend, right? We're gonna have some fairly good topics, some thoughtful topic like we normally do, right? Some things as we go along the way. Gonna get some things here out in the open first for our wrestling fans. You know, your boy is a wrestling fan. I don't want to say avid. I don't get into full on stuff, but we know enough now hanging around behind the scenes that it's not just body flops and body squashes and folks in tight clothes that are doing things here. There's a little bit more behind the scenes, right, family? So we'll have a little bit of a conversation on that. The word occupy. We have to have a conversation on the word occupy because something that come to your boy last night, just in thought, centered around the scriptures, okay, and some life that there is there that we have to have a conversation on because unfortunately those of an adversarial mindset, we're going to say it that way, have used the holy scriptures. That this has to be boldly said from like everywhere. And then this goes for most religions. This is not just in the Abrahamic faith. This is most religions, family. We use this as an occasion to be like we have said in the past. We use it to be an occasion to be mean boys and girls to each other, mean girls and boys to each other, right? And again, for those who have an issue with homosexuality, guess what? That's not just hetero, right? And meanness. That's homo meanness as well, right? Or again, the word homo meaning similar. Like we're Homo sapiens, right? So again, this thing don't know no bounds. It don't know no gender. Meanness, anger, or out of control anger, I should say. When the brakes fall off, right? You know, Jacob Fatu right now. Unfortunately, they like to play a game with the cultures, right? The same jokes they play with their own cultures, they do with cultures different than them, right? And it becomes them as those who hold things in a certain, they hold sway over a thing. They tell you what's going on. Again, we re-reference the 10 points of people activity, economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, and health. They're telling you how to operate in each one of these. You are not really in connection with the maker doing each one of these things. They're telling you how it should be done. Even as much so using that same connection from the creator and created to generate, again, things for them. So we're going to talk about that word occupy. And finally, we'll probably end off here with democracy. And then we're going to go on about a day. We're not going to hold you long today, right? Welcome in us. Just had to get all that out the way. Welcome in us, who are the 1,200 plus strong, who believe in, who love after, who have fun and enjoy, right? Who seek, hunger, and thirst for that which is a different view. Family, welcome in, right? Welcome in. Thank you for your support. Like we've been doing lately here, we just want to bring to remembrance where you can find the podcast, right? As we come up closer here on 2 years. What an awesome trip this has been, family, right? To share with folks, to see that other people either listening from, again, an adversarial mindset or from a non-adversarial mindset, right? Thankfully, that there is response, right? And we believe that it will continue. Will continue to grow because it's the nature of life, like life grows. Grass grows in patches, family, and then you also see it in full meadow, right? This is the nature of things. You can find us on Spotify at a different view, right? The artist's name is KJ, or the content creator's name is KJ. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, same thing. KJ, A Different View, KJ. You can also find us on YouTube. The channel name is at A Different View 80, and then you can find the podcast there, A Different View. This is where we're at, y'all. Again, the @ symbol, A Different View 80. All right. So it's not posted like on TikTok and other places where I'm on social media. Those are the 3 places where it's at. Okay, so here's some reflection on this is some post WrestleMania reflection here, y'all. I could, as a Bulls fan, take a dig at the Knicks, and I'm not going to. Chicago has not been that good of late, right? And maybe sometime there's some things that we're hearing from the owner there that really is not instilling too much in me as a Bulls fan. So again, family, when you don't like it, don't spend the money going there, okay? Don't go to the games, right? There's no need to watch the show. Not for nothing. When we talk on the NBA from a standpoint of building communities, specifically black and brown communities, at the end of the day, realize who wins is the NBA. Not the Knicks or the Pacers, although the Knicks completely blew that game last night. This is where we're going with this, right? This is where we're going with this, okay? Hey, the Knicks in the 90s and the 70s would have laughed at that game because you don't blow these games, right? When you're up like that, defense and stuff like this is just for your sports fan. Just a little talk right here for your sports fan, right? Again, like we said, we're not fully connected like we used to be, but we keep a distant watch. Kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi in A New Hope looking after Luke, right? We keep a distant watch. We got our Captain America cup here. If I was on video, we would show. We got our Captain America Brave New World Cup. Not there's no cut against Steve Rogers, but for too long, family, the mental picture that's put in front of the mind, it's like only one group here rules and reigns. The continent of North America, right? The Americas, and that's a falsity, family. They brought their own folk, again, just a little side note here. They brought their own folks over here as migrants to hurt them, to keep those who stole this land in power. That's the power of Memorial Day weekend, family. And our veterans, active and retired, that have given their lives. When we say retired, both living and not living, who have given their lives under a different premise, all the while supporting this sick man. You got to come to that conclusion. Whether child of a military member or friend or not, when you talk on defense, the thing has been twisted, family. Right? Or has it not? Captain America, A Brave New World Cup is what we got because, again, we want to keep to the forefront of our mind here. Let me just mute the sound. I mute the sound on the phone, but didn't do it on the computer. The Negro is here too, family. Again, 3 people groups that we talk about on the Americas, right, that we have said on this podcast. The Mexican, which the Mexican has become a broad term now for, the Incan and the Mayan. The Aztec, right? The other one is our native brothers and sisters, multiple tribes here, that when the European, when the colonizer, when the conqueror, when the invader came here, they just called him Indian. They didn't call him by their tribal name. The people groups that they called themselves. They switched it around because they didn't like them. Because that's normally how a mean girl or boy operates when jealousy and greed is at the forefront of the game, family. We are meant and have been made to live down here in peace, as you always hear me say. And as a result of not doing so and allowing people to live and let live, instead of the great song, Live and Let Die, instead of us living and let living, we have become busybodies. There's a couple of words from the Apocrypha, you boys. Again, we're starting to get into the books that the group kicked out. Because all of a sudden now, anybody who got something on some holiness now, you became God. You know what's right and wrong. We're following after the one telling us something. It's not the other way around. So you have to have an open heart to things to understand something, which is part of the fear of the Lord. But I digress, right? So, yeah, I want to keep at the forefront of my mind that it's not just the white man. That runs things. You need a workforce that you pull from all different places of the planet because you're lazy. For those this does not apply to, don't worry about it. In this case, we're just telling you about the game because to be forewarned is to be forearmed, right? You got to know how to operate in this life. Something that every parent should be telling their kids from the jump. This new crop of children out here that's running around in the streets, literally, with the parents not watching them and running around in the stores, right? That you can't shop properly because they running underneath you and around doors and all that kind of stuff because nobody's watching over the kids. You know, there was a hip hop song, Jay-Z in the song Renegade with Eminem. I know people don't, both of those folks, maybe Eminem's a little liked more now lately than Jay-Z, but I digress, right? At the end, it's not to make fun of anything that's going on with Puff Daddy or, those in the hip hop game who don't know things with Tory Lanez and all that kind of stuff. Again, we're just saying, one may be more liked than the other right now. But at the end of the day, in the song Renegade, which I like, it's a good song, right? It's a good song. It has good thought. It has a lot of good thoughts in the song. Jay-Z winds up saying that Shorty was knocked up because she wasn't watched over. And in truth, family, that's what's going on. And like we got again, like we're saying, we got kids running around in these stores and all this kind of mess because people are not watching over their children. For me, right? And again, you take it for what you want. It's almost as if people, and this just is an observative kind of thing, right? When you shop and you see this stuff, I'm sure as for workers, it's the same thing, family. How are you supposed to do your job? As you're in the store, right? And you're watching this, right? You're trying to pick up your berries or your yogurt, right? Or your veggies, right? That good stuff from the earth, right? Your almond milk, whatever it is that you're getting, right? Or them cutlets for that fried chicken, right? or them legs, them drumsticks, right? Since it's Memorial Day weekend, you trying to pick up them ribs and that sausage. Come on now, somebody. You got to get the potatoes for the potato salad, right? We got to do the thing. So while you're doing all that, you got these bratty, snot-nosed kids. Just say what it is, right? They're not coming from them. So leave that alone, right? It's coming from parents training kids. Again, train up the child in the way they should go. So clearly there's, I guess the thought in some minds here is that that's the way they should be, just unruly. This goes for these racist bullies out here, the good old country boys whose parents have truly taught them that it makes sense to keep down one group of people or groups of people. And when we say one group, we mean like in a broad sense of groups of people. They believe this. You look at what we say white supremacist groups. I don't like using the word because, again, there is no one really supreme. There's only one, right? Especially when you're speaking from a Christian standpoint. But I digress. At the end of the day here, it's like they raise them to be supreme over somebody. No. We share and share alike, and then we go back to dust as we were made from. That's how this works. Enough on that. Monday Night Raw. So let me take a sip of this good water here. Hold on. I got a problem, family, and it's the same thing on SmackDown with Jacob Fatu, right? There is a thing here in most businesses. This happens with the NBA, again, as we're taking a dig at the Knicks' loss, right? Been a while since we've seen the Pacers and the Knicks in a playoff game, right? Last time, Mr. O.J. Simpson was running from the cops because he killed. Sorry, let's say it a different way, right? Allegedly. Because this is the mess now, because people don't stand on a square when it comes to law. See, laws, while they're supposed to elevate a society, the elevation, y'all can replay this on TikTok, whatever. The elevation of it, clearly, what you see from history, is to protect the criminal. not to uphold justice. Rapists go free. This has nothing to do with like mistakes in the system. That's not. It just fell through the cracks. That's one of those words. That's one of them phrases we use. Nah, the thing is set up to keep the criminal. This all this is. This land was taken. Whether you want to say treaties, I don't care which one of them treaties you point back to in the 1700s. It's all lies, family. Same way they do today. Same way Miss Hochul, and this is no cut on you, miss, but Governor Catherine Hochul over in New York, we don't have to give you no money anyway. No. See, government is for the people. This is what we're talking about, this haughty mindset. Not proudful, haughty mindset, where you're above someone. The people of Long Island, New York are due more than $400 for inflation relief. See, family, at some point you got to question your economy. How strong is it? Excuse me. You're going to have to question that. How strong is it? Again, we're speaking from a historical standpoint, because this economy has had issues. But this one they made, we're not talking about the one the makers made. The one they made over the top of it. This is why I use less of the word America in the United States. I start saying the United States, because that's what was built over the landmass called by Mr. Vespucci America. Again, we have bought into how a different group of people want us to talk about where we live in. Monday Night Raw, right, family? Because again, this is where a lot of this is coming from. Jacob Fatu is not winning clean matches. As far as wrestling fans, you can say it however you want to. You can believe it however you want to. They're building up storyline a different way. All this kinds of stuff. We get it, right? Jacob Fatu is not winning clean matches. He needs somebody else's help to win. He never did that with LA Knight. Hold on now. Hold on. Whoa. Pump the brakes before the defense starts. They didn't do that with LA Knight, right? Shinsuke was a heel before that, so, he's doing it with the mist in the face and all that kind of stuff. But anybody who's been, a U.S. champion, normally, it's not needing help to win. Why all of a sudden is Jacob Fatu needed on SmackDown? What is that? You got the, you know what I mean? And we got this, I'm all brakes, no gas now. You start talking a certain way. He's got braids in his hair. He's Samoan with shaking and shucking and jiving and all that. Listen, when you talk about the history of WWE with those, whether they be black or Hispanic or Asian, there's an issue. Just let's be honest, that you don't see anywhere else. That's not to say like the screw job between Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart isn't a thing, okay? We get it. A lot of that is business. We understand, right? And the word business has been overused, but that's besides the point. Jey Uso. Shout out to you, brother, one time, right? Shout out to you both, man. We talking about people. Same thing with Zelina Vega. I ain't seen Zelina Vega. I think she did one match maybe 2 SmackDowns ago, something like that, man. Since she won a women's championship, you ain't short Puerto Rican girl. Shout out to the prodigy, Roxanne Perez, one time, right? We're talking about our Latin, brown, and black seed family. And there's always been an issue. You read it from, we've read it here from Mr. Lincoln, right? Let me see if I still got it up. Yeah, I still got it up. I keep it up, family, because you got to keep certain things at the forefront of your mind. Not for division, to expose the division. There's a physical difference between the white and black races. Which I believe will forever forbid the two races living together. This is some mess that's being spoken over, something that should never be there, family. While we understand the word enmity, like we spoke a couple times ago, right? We get it. But at the same time, this idea, family, where we're just killing each other, you're going to have, again, we understand the word enmity. And at some point, somebody's going to clap back. We get it. But we have done this in a level of excess where we're looking at the wrong people. That's on both sides. It's a thing to start leaving people alone, right? And it's a thing to start coming together with other people groups that may be different than you. He goes on to say, while they do remain together, there must be a position. Why must there be a position? Why? God never made you that way. Again, the Mars Hill address of the apostle or St. Paul, however you want to look at it, to the Grecians in Greece, telling them about what they thought was the unknown God, that God has made from one blood every race. Wait. Yeah. Why are we doing the opposite on something? One blood, all nations. Now, my man is, see, this is the same thing Peter did. I wonder why Christians ain't picked up on this. But again, right, some of these things you have to start thinking, family. That's how this works. Same thing in the Christian world. We drone around and we wait for that drop, for the beat to drop, See, the same thing happens up in the club, happens up in the church. You wait for the beat to drop and then everybody go crazy. But nobody's learning anything, okay? This is a edification. The base of the word edify is to instruct. Nobody's learning anything. We figured out that Jesus loves the little children. That is, unless the little children are non-white, then there's a little bit more of an issue, right? From one blood, all nations of men, for to dwell is old school King James English, for that dwell. That dwell on the face of the earth. You've seen the same kind of powerful speech from Peter with Jesus toward the people around him in conversation when Jesus asked Peter, who do men say I am? Like, is it rabbi? Is it just teacher? Am I some base dude off the block corner somewhere? Am I some weirdo? Right? And he came back in front of the whole congregation to tell him that you are the Son of the living God, right? This is what we read. So maybe we ought to take some level of accountability here to understand that even back then, people groups all over the planet were already living and doing their thing with their own societies set up. That by the time you fast forward time to the 1400s, you took away something that you should not have. Then built a military and protection by and backed by the gun, not the truth of defense, by the gun. This is not to say you shouldn't defend yourself. Anyway, I already talked about that. The things here with Jey Uso, okay? We got the yeet, 4 letters, 1 word, yeet, right? So now you got everybody in the crowd doing it. We going ham. This is not WWE way. Let's be honest. We would rather people cheer for John Cena, Hulk Hogan. Hell, we can even go hard for Stone Cold Steve Austin. Oh, hell yeah. We can do all that kind of thing. Right about the time the color changes on the skin tone. We're just saying what it is. Right? And we get with the R-Truth thing and the what's up. And even though John Cena should have did exactly the R-Truth. But that's what happens when you cheerlead for Massa, family. Let's be honest. That's what it looks like. Because they don't give a damn. You're in their way. And as soon as you step out of line, you pay the penalty. Again, whether you believe this or not, it's your business. It's your business. We just saying what it is. You take it or leave it, right? Jey Uso winning dirty. This is the way I'm saying it. What I mean by that is he's been winning these last couple matches since WrestleMania by disqualification. He's not doing his finishing moves, etc., etc. This is normally how a legit way a champion wins. Okay, especially ones that are real popular within the company that they choose to put on. This is the part where people are right about wrestling. Okay, this is the fun. This is where the fun comes in. Okay, so they chose Jey Uso. He worked for it. Don't get me wrong. He worked his ass off for it. But they chose him. He's got the belt now. He hasn't won a match clean yet. I want the WWE, if whoever, this gets to whoever, you can repost it, whatever. It's time to just see Jey Uso win clean. Why are we, so if the thing is if he's a transitional champion to Seth Rollins, you could have just skipped all that, kept him doing the Uso thing, right? And doing all that, right? And do the good shucking and jiving that you like watching dark skin, tan skin tone folks do, right? You could have kept it that way and then just let Seth Rollins then be champion with this weird whatever you're doing with Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker. I'm just saying what it is. Braun Breaker's enough of a star. He got enough of backing on him. He don't. If you want to tell me there's some polish with like promos and stuff, whatever. Again, he's coming from an era with, again, one of his family members is Scott Steiner, a.k.a. Big Papa Pump, dude pumping his, bicep, kissing it, all this kind of the big man era, right? So he's coming from that kind of era. That's his body frame. He used to be a football player, is what it is, okay? At the end of it all, right? Or tried out for the NFL, whatever it is. At the end of the day, if that's what you want, you don't have to go this way where you bringing in Jey Uso and all this. I've had this same similar critique with AEW. They've been better with it with Swerve. They were better with it with Swerve when he was champion, even though he was getting beat up in the beginning and all that kind of thing. Can we just let the dude win? Just let the dude win outright. Let him get his stuff. Let the people cheer, and then you could bury him on the back end, right? Like John Cena's been doing for years. It was funny in one of his promos to see a beer bottle get thrown at him. I mean, we shouldn't be doing that to these people, but it's an old school thing. You go back in the 80s, they had no problem, man. They had no problem throwing stuff. Threw stuff in the ring, and whoever it was, Andre the Giant, whoever it was, man, if they didn't like it, they was throwing stuff at you. But that's old school, right? Because that's what they used to do in theater. They throw tomatoes at folks. So, yeah, him winning dirty, man, and CM Punk is coming out, and now Sami Zayn is coming out to help him, and it's the same kind of thing. What are we doing? Either let these people be the champion that they are on their own, or don't make them champion. Side note on this past Monday Night Raw, that there was a horrible knee injury. Horrible. That was tough to watch. And the whole leg got caught under the mat while Zoe Stark, female wrestler in the women's division there in WWE. She just got caught under the mat. That knee went the wrong way. The whole leg went the wrong way. It was wild to watch. So we pray for a quick recovery for her. We're just saying what it is, right? Because again, whether you believe in wrestling or not, people are making money, family. Okay. So we're not putting that type of energy out in the air. We don't do that, right? Raw. Again, we already talked about Roxanne Perez. We'll see if she wins Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank will be a better definitely will be I believe, will be a better pay-per-view than Backlash. Backlash is boring. Same thing for AEW's, excuse me, Double or Nothing. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Let's get into these last two things here, because we're already about 30 minutes here, and then we are going to let you go. Side note on AEW, John Moxley needs to lose. John Moxley, a.k.a. Dean Ambrose, for those who remember him from WWE, part of The Shield, right? He needs to lose. It's been too long. We got Marina Shafir sitting there holding the belt and the briefcase and just all of this weird. She's barely getting involved. Excuse me. Willow Nightingale is kind of saving the scene here by getting involved because, again, I don't know who the creative, I don't know what they did with that, but like, it had a good premise to an extent, little NWO-ish from the 90s and all that, but in the early 2000s, but Lord, like, he needs to lose. They need to figure out something else with that. So, let's see, is this it yet? The word occupy, Luke 19. And then we'll do this. We'll do the word democracy here because it's something I missed from last year. Then listening to a message on the word democracy, something that I normally do, I didn't do, and I missed a little nugget of truth there. For our Democrats and Republicans out there who are sitting there fighting each other all day long, when you look at the base word, you can see where you've given into the deception that is divide and conquer. Because it's supposed to be unite and give. Luke 19, King James Version. Again, we like going back to the scene of the crime. This is where people have an issue, right? This is where we get issues from. So this is where we're going to go to these verses, all right? Jesus entered and passed through Jericho. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was chief among the publicans, politicians, government officials, right? And he was rich. He sought to see who Jesus was, couldn't get through the amount of people because he was small. This is for you folks out here who have bad ego issues because they've been made fun of, and also because of the deficiencies inside their own mind and psyche of small people. We have heard it always. I heard it from my mother. You be mindful of people who are smaller folks, man. That is real. Not because they're devious or anything like that, but they're already wounded. You know what a wounded, and it's not to make people like animals, but we share very many similarities. Me, you, anybody, right? There's a thing here. That's why, like, it was cool to see in the native zodiac that, like, right around where I'm at, just a personal thing here, right? When you look at the Native American zodiac, I know everybody gonna talk about how devil inspired it is and all that kind of thing. That's fine. Go when you go look at it, right? It's gonna sit there and tell you your different deal. Mine is the wolf. Very interesting stuff, right? So dude is of little stature. Verse 4. He ran before, climbed up a sycamore tree. This is where we get a lot of this, Zacchaeus and sycamore tree is like a song with it, all that kind of thing, right? Climbed up a sycamore tree to see Jesus, for he was to pass through that way. The same thing like, little people, not little people. My apologies. I'm not talking about, when I meant little people, I'm talking kids, young kids, children. You put them on their shoulders during parades and all that type of stuff so they can see, because they can't see. Or when they climb up on something else, you get a little bit older, you can hold your body weight, you climb up on something else to be able to see things, right? So that's what's going on. When Jesus came, that's how popular Jesus was, by the way. For those who have a problem with big churches. No, what you need to question is what the hell going on inside that church. Do we have Marvin Saps holding up people for $40,000? Do we have stuff like what went on with Pastor Keon Henderson, where you're going to hit up people for a whole bunch of money? Why are we hitting up people for a bunch of money? You got a bunch of money. We're not going there no more, family, right? This is wrong. It's time for the congregants, just like in your government. Stop fleecing down people and start helping them. A couple sermons off the holy book. That's not that. No. You need money in the pocket. Wait a minute. What did the half brother of Jesus tell you? What did he tell you? I hope we were James chapter 2. Right? If you have respect to persons, you commit sin and are convinced of or convicted of the law as transgressors. Speak you, do so, that you be judged by the law of liberty, not the law of sin and death. Again, there's a lot of spiritual laws going down here on this planet, family. To certain ways that we do things under a spirit of liberty. That's real. Essence, life, thought, process of liberty. If a brother or sister is naked, destitute of food. Again, Christ had already talked about this. Did you visit me when I was sick? Did you visit me when I had no clothes? Did you visit? This is the one where it's talking about, depart from me, I do not know you. Go search that verse. Right? Because they coming out talking about all this stuff we did for you, Jesus. No, this is backwards. It's superficial. You got all that money. It's time to start taking care of those naked, destitute of daily food. Daily food. Let's not don't stop at clothes and food. Okay, we talking money in the pocket. Their energy bill, their water bill, their rent. You got that money. They tithe to you all the time. The priest was tied to be able to take care of the people. Now that's in the spiritual sense. We live under new covenant now. Never mind. Never mind. Get back into Luke, KJ. You got it. Let's get back into. As a matter of fact, just for time's sake, let's run down. He winds up telling a parable, right? Zacchaeus stood and said unto the Lord, "Behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor, and if I have taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore him fourfold." That's interesting, right? Jesus said unto them, "This day salvation has come to this house, for as much as he is also a son of Abraham, for the Son of Man has come to seek and save that which is lost." Okay. Take that for what you will. You can take that as spiritual or a physical thing, or both. As they heard these things, he added a parable. They like to double down. We're just not going to talk to you. We like to double down and hammer it home, because it was near Jerusalem, and because they had thought that the kingdom of God was going to appear immediately. How many people keep looking at it that way? He said, therefore, a certain nobleman went into a far country. This is the 10 talents, right? A certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered. You can read this. This is said another way in a different passage. We're not doing that for time's sake. And delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, "Occupy till I come." Right? That's where we're going to stop on that one. The definition of the word occupy. We're going to go to the etymology of it just for time's sake. Okay? You can look at the definition and the etymology just to get more hammered home here. Of course, when you see occupy, they're going to, everything is about possessing land, right? But this is something more important than that. Take possession, to retain, keep of. All right? Occupinion. This is out of the 14th century, mid 14th century. So again, the 14th century, right? 1301 to 1400, somewhere in the middle there. Okay. Also to take up space or room or time. What you're using with your time, family. When you look at some of the words that are like different to occupy, it deals with idle. We know about that whole thing, right? The idle hands being a devil's workshop. Okay. Oh, wait, the idle hands. Wait, hold on now. Idle hands are the adversary's workshop. Yeah, we know. See, people are lazy, family. Those are your boss and whatnot. They're lazy. Those in government, lazy all over the planet. And they got you working, making that money for them while you get a little cut. Do you think that's right? Those who created Labor Day, like we started way back in this podcast, family, did not think this was right. They did something about it. Now, of course, what the bully do is kick back. That's not what we doing. We talking about raising up the standard legally, financially, for us to have what we have. We're saying what it is. This is what's happened every time in history. Again, it didn't happen automatically. God didn't come down with some angels. This is on us. Irregularly borrowed from old French occuper, right? To hold or seize. You ought to be careful on that one. Although take control of your life, occupy your own life, right? But taking and controlling somebody else's stuff, that's where the problem's been. Take over, seize, take into possession, occupy, grasp, seize, so on and so forth. You get into the definition of it, because I don't think it's in the etymology. When you get into the definition of it, it deals with employ. Right, yeah, it's right there. Actually, it's right there. To employ someone. Occupy till I come. We got to get involved, family, right? James, in this same passage, talks about works. Faith without works is dead. Inactive is the word dead. Right? We got to get involved. It's not going to happen if we don't get involved. The word democracy. When you look at, and this is where we're going to end, right? When you look at the word democracy, I did not realize this. We already knew the definition deals with government by the people, right? You understand that, right? You understand that republic is the people, right? By which government has the foundation to be established. It's through people, right? You got the Republic of the Congo, the Republic anywhere on the nation, not in the nation, or yes, in the nation, but anywhere in the planet, you would have republics because you can't have government without people, right? But we do this kind of weird dichotomy, like republic and democracy are two different ones, right? That's what we do, don't we? We got fights going on, bipartisan mess. Again, a lot of that is ball under the cup in a carnival kind of thing, or distractions and stuff, because they're two of the same thing. As we like to have the joke here on this podcast, they're having a party at your expense because they're a party. You know what I mean? Right? Because that's just what it is. Republicans want to kick out everybody because that's what this government been about, is kicking out everybody so somebody else can have a party. And best believe those on the class who keep supporting these folks, which are AKA the poor white man and woman, are the ones who will be kept on the bottom if you kicked out everybody. It's not going to work that way. It hasn't, right? If you kick them all out and y'all are left, you will be left on the bottom, because this is the way it's set up. It was like that in England. England came to the Americas. Again, an Eastern country invaded a Western country. This is what it, right? Europe, this is what it is. Okay, they left you with flag colors. Go look at some of the colors of native, since this is native country and everything, right? This is right. Go look at their colors of their flags. Do you see any of them colors in the? No, you don't. No, you don't. You see a similitude of the flag colors that are in England. That's what you do see. Or France. Never mind. Because we know we know the defense that's in the mind of people already. So take it for what you will. Demos in the Greek means the people. Kratia, where you get kratik from, or krasi from, means power or rule. This is out the late 15th century. Who knew that? So republic, God help us, man. They let the deception scales fall. You got one group saying that they're different or they're better than the other group, but by definition, y'all are the same. My God. Oh, and see, this is why, again, what is one of the people activities? Education. We uneducated, family. Again, we've talked about the literacy rate before. People are not learning at their maximum. They got to keep you dumbed down so you never find out certain things, right? That's where we are going to stop. That's where we're going to stop today, family. We hope that you enjoyed this. I know your boy rambled a little bit about wrestling and sports and you know, all these kinds of things. Hopefully we ended off on a high note today, though, right? Thank you, family, for walking this road with me. And as always, and until next time, look to find the beauty in a different view.